We human beings are perfectly designed to react instantly to dangers before us. That's a really useful trait when the saber-toothed tiger shows up at the mouth of your cave. That's self and species preservation in one neat package, and it's part of what made it possible for you to be born. So we're adept at dealing with threats that are in our faces. The contrasting point is that the same saber-toothed tiger that we know is over the hill, but is not currently in sight, elicits not one bit of reaction from us. Out of sight of the cave, off our threat radar screen, to mix metaphors by tens of thousands of years. Interestingly, our threat alert system, complete with the threat ignoring non-response of what isn't in our faces right now, continues in you and me today, and it's a powerful obstacle to meeting our challenges. Global warming is already causing problems worldwide, but recognizing adverse patterns made worse by our climate warming behaviors and seeing that as a threat is a pattern that's difficult to feel. It's much like ignoring that saber-toothed tiger that's over the hill. It's easy because we don't feel the threat from what isn't in our faces. The out-of-sight syndrome gives climate warming deniers the engine to fold arms and dig in heels. The same is true of the massive bee kill-off that threatens to greatly affect food supplies worldwide. Food is still plentiful in grocery stores, so we don't see the threat, but scarcity is just over the hill. That out-of-sight location allows our EPA, for example, to refuse to deal effectively with pesticides that are killing bees, pollinators, at an alarming rate, and the EPA has now pushed back its review of the toxin neonicotinoid yet another year. Key point. There are many issues that we decide in favor of benefit now, like jobs, money, and comfort, because we're unable to see over the hill to a future where the threat arrives right in our faces. There are ways to help deniers to see the threat that's over the hill and which is going to imperil all of us. Read Chip and Dan Heath's excellent book, Switch, in order to understand how to help people to embrace change when they simply don't feel the imperative. Hint. You have to help them feel the imperative. That saber-toothed tiger really is going to present himself to us in many forms and venues, and he really is just over the crest of that hill, and he really is headed our way. That's why we have to replace our spineless Congress, so that we prepare for the challenges that will be in our faces very soon. It's all about that tiger. Two more things. Last week, your president announced that he plans to cancel a 2.1% COLA wage increase for about 1.5 million civilian federal workers. He claimed that the cost is fiscally unacceptable or some other justification that attempted to sound policy-based, but there just might be a different reason for his digging into the workers' pockets. Try out this theory of Trump's motivation to stiff our federal workers. Dozens of Republican members of Congress are at significant risk of losing their jobs in the upcoming midterm election. Imagine the great cry that will come from these at-risk politicians wailing about the great pain that will be inflicted upon their constituents. They'll posture in front of any camera that's handy until at last, roughly 10 days before the election, the president will relent, saying that these fine Republican lawmakers looking after their people's best interests have convinced him to restore the wage adjustments. He'll magnanimously declare that these Republicans should be re-elected. Wait until October 28th before you call me a conspiracy nut. Finally, John McCain was eulogized by family, friends, and colleagues. My most powerful and likely enduring memory is clear. Perhaps you hold it similarly. It was of his life and message of duty, service, dedication to something much larger than ourselves. It was the repeated clarity that our future, something that is so much larger than ourselves, depends upon what we do today, and that as citizens, it's up to us. What will you do today? I'm Jack Alshuler.